Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roach.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our reaction and review for All's Fair Season 1, Episode 4 on Hulu.
hmm
Let's just start, because we feel like being positive today. Let's just start with the good news. This is by far the best episode of the show that they've done.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that it is an episode that is filled with Niecy Nash, who is amazing. She's
Yes.
so good at everything I've seen her. I absolutely love her, and I absolutely loved her in Grotesquerie. Where is my season 2? But she was wonderful in this episode. Very hard episode, a very dark episode, very difficult material. But she's the person who's going to be able to handle this the best, and she
Yeah.
did.
This is not what I'm about to say meant to be, oh, everybody, let's just jump on Kim, because I know that's sort of the low hanging fruit with this show. But
It
I
is.
think the reality here is just that she's not a super experienced actress, right? I think she is
Yes.
more than fine as a supporting character on
Mhm.
this show. When she has to do too much is when it gets to be a challenge. And there was a lot of that in the first 3 episodes. But here, you're really passing the reins over to, yeah, Niecy, somebody who has been the lead of multiple shows, been a part of
Yeah.
multiple Ryan Murphy projects. I know Kim had American Horror Story, but Niecy's just done so much. She can be funny, she can be dramatic. Like, there is a lot of drama, there is a lot of dark stuff in this episode, but there is
Mhm.
also this big question that is coming out of it, a mystery that All's Fair may tackle for a while.
Yeah, I mean, did Emerald kill someone?
Mhm.
It looks like it could possibly be her. There's some other suspects that are on the board. There is one person that is definitely on the board. I feel like tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
It is this person, and we are gonna dive into this murder mystery for sure.
Before we do, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be here all season long with All's Fair,
Mhm.
talking all about these episodes, the
Yep.
drama. As some of you may have seen, this show set some pretty impressive records on Hulu in terms of its
Yeah.
viewership. So it has to feel pretty good about itself. And we're feeling very, very good to be here with you guys all season.
Yeah, we will be here all season. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to talk about All's Fair further, you can head over to our Patreon. We're
Yeah.
having more discussions, polls, chatter, all kinds of stuff going on over there. I'll leave a link for you below. Okay, so as Matt said, this is the best episode of the season so far. We are not feeling about it the way a lot of other reviewers have felt about it. There was a ton of reviews out for the first 3 episodes.
Yes.
Everybody seemed to hate it. There's still a couple people out there hate watching the show and hate reviewing the show, which is kind of interesting because for the most part, the hate watchers have become very, very, very small group. There's a lot of people that like bailed out on it, but those of us who have stuck with it, I think we're being really rewarded with this episode because even though the content very, very dark,
Yes.
very difficult to get through, the performance really was outstanding.
I think that's something we can probably look forward to the rest of this season. It's just they have so many acting gems on this show, right?
Yes.
Because the first 3 were very Kim slanted, and I understand she's the lead. A lot of promotion's going to be about her. We did get some of the less desirable parts of All's Fair from the get-go, but now we have a chance to get to know these supporting
Yes.
characters. And Emerald, Niecy's character, like, she's just somebody who has a lot going on, and that's before the terribleness of the story even began.
I was very surprised to see the story go this way. Not the episode itself,
Mhm.
but the first 3 episodes were very like fun and ridiculous
Yes.
and drama, messy, messy, messy. And then we got to this episode and it got very serious very fast. Like the only storyline that felt like it was very serious and being played very serious in the first 3 episodes was Dina's story with Dougie and everything that's going on with his cancer.
Yeah.
This episode almost felt like I was watching another show. How like just disturbing and dark this got.
I'm a little worried about the jumping through what kind of episode are we getting every single week, because I don't know, and this is not just All's Fair. I don't know if any show out there can balance, okay, we're going to be camp for the next 20 minutes, and
Right.
then, okay, we're going to deal with the most serious subject matter possible. I was really worried when we even got into the meat of this story, because it was coming on the other side of another one of these hokey, oh, we're all in the conference room, let's chat and share some somewhat witty dialogue, which is still the part of the show that makes me want to run through a wall in despair. But then we get to the other stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, it's, it's fine. It's not the best part of the show, but it did end up inspiring Emerald to go to this singles party that
Yeah.
seems like someone she knows has like twice a month or whatever, where she gets together a bunch of people that, are looking to find love. And every time Emerald has said, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And she's really enjoyed just spending time with her sons. Now her sons are getting ready to go off to university. So she's been really pampering herself, great meals, great music, just having like a wonderful time and just being good to herself. But, talking to her colleagues, they're like, you know what? Just why not? Try it out, see what happens. Liberty's got Reggie, and he's amazing. And I still have my tinfoil hat on for that he is not amazing. Something is going to come out. It is not what they seem. He is not the prince who was promised.
No, something terrible is going to happen there. You don't have Naomi Watts just playing a
No.
happy romance story for the rest of the season. This is just also not that show. I'm sorry.
It's not, but seeing Emerald in that beautiful, oh my God, she's so gorgeous, all put together, going. Her sons are really excited for her. They're like, yeah, we're going to be going off to university. It's time for you to go out and meet somebody. Let's go, let's go. I'm like, okay, this is such a fun, campy show. Is she going to just go out and have a fun time? Oh my God, no. It went like the worst that it could absolutely go.
Yeah, I had hoped it was going to be lighthearted because it's just like I'm single. So, right, the idea of going out there and doing all these sort of dating meetings, and I don't like being around a lot of people. So, all of this just felt very anxiety inducing to me. And I just thought we were going to be going down okay, this is going to be stressful, but she's going to be able to maybe find someone. And then we see what actually happened to her.
The minute that this guy was like, I'm gonna go and get you a drink, I was like, oh no, this is about to take a bad turn. Because for any women that have been out there in the dating scene, just even in the bar scene, just going to like go out with your girlfriends, have a fun time or whatever, you never leave your drink unattended. If you have somebody buying you a drink, you always have it in front of you so you can see. Because unfortunately, what happened to Emerald, where, the drink is getting spiked, she's being taken somewhere and terrible things are being done, this is a reality, and it's a more common reality than, we all wish that it were. Ladies, be very careful with your drinks.
Yes, yes. And this reality, it's not something that, okay, we've never seen on television before. Like, it
No.
has been depicted in other places, but I think
Yes.
the reason why it worked here and it didn't just feel like, okay, we're just going to hit all the same notes that have been hit before, is they really did show the cruel reality at the heart of all of this, because this is not like Emerald is incompetent or doesn't know what to do in a situation like this. She
Nope.
handled pretty much every single part of it the right way, making sure she had her evidence in order, talking to people,
Yes.
ensuring that she had resources. And even with all of that, she gets into a situation where she is still told, okay, there's probably nothing that we're going to be able to do with this guy because there's just not enough of a case.
Yeah, and this is the absolute horror of what happened to her, is that it's always like, where's the evidence? Is there enough evidence? And that's why it's, you got to trust what people are saying. I understand that you want this evidence, but there isn't always evidence, but it's happening. So there's got to be another way to kind of get around this, to be able to get some sort of justice through the legal system. She's even, going to her old partner and is like, listen, Ray, like, help me out. Here's all the stuff that I have. And he's just like, I wish that I had more, because it's not going to hold up, and it's not going to hold up. And she's like, thanks.
Here's the problem now. The guy is dead. And because the guy is dead, all of a sudden the entirety of this case now shifts, where it's even harder, obviously, for her to get justice. But now it's a spot where the tables get turned, and the question then becomes, okay, well, did Emerald kill him, or did somebody else take him out? Like, is it really a situation where he did this to himself and then he's just gone off the face of the earth?
What's the motivation that he did this to himself? Anybody? Commenters? Anybody? There is no motivation that he did this to himself. Even after it happened, there was like this unknown number sending the picture being like, hey, this good time, whatever, and taunting her.
Yeah.
Why then would he go do this? He didn't do this himself. Somebody did this. Tinfoil hat, it's Ray.
All
I
right.
feel that it's the detective friend because I feel like, they used to be partners, and her just feeling of defeat when, he was like, there's not enough evidence. I wish there was more that I could actually do with this, but we both know that this isn't going to hold up. You could see all over him that defeat, that he really wanted to find a way to help. It's him. There's not that many people that knew who this person was. It even took the firm, a couple different tries to be able to figure it out, to get an address, to find out that the house is owned by somebody else, to find out that it's somebody else's son. Like, there's only a few people that know who that is. That's everybody at the firm, and it's Ray.
All right, I want to take a look at all of the suspects here. Now, I do agree with you. I do think it's almost certainly Ray. I think this is like a 90% likelihood it's Ray for all of the reasons that you specify. Now, the idea of the perpetrator doing this to himself, I just don't see this for a handful of reasons. You talked about the motive part of it. I think the other really sad and awful aspect of this situation is this is probably not the first woman that this guy has done this to.
Agreed.
And so because of that, it's just the spot where, okay, if this guy was really out to do this, they probably would have done it already. The idea of, all right, well, it might be Emerald. Emerald is the person who had more motive than anyone to try to do this. She did have access to the information at the firm.
She has a motive. She is on the list.
Yeah. Now, here's where I kind of have a little bit of a question regarding that, is that she had the scene where she goes and talks to her sons about it, and she sort of lays out a little bit of what's happening here. She talks to them about making sure they have an alibi, having all their ducks in a row. I'm sitting here watching it and feeling like, all right, if Emerald actually did this herself, why is she telling her sons about possible alibis they need to have? Why go to that step when you could just go to them and say, okay, this is what happens. He did this to himself, and sort of smooth over the situation in that sense, because they didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay. My tinfoil hat is still on.
All right.
Okay, so if Emerald did this, and I'm not convinced that she did, but if she did this, Ray came to her and was like, it looks like he did it to himself. That's where it's at right now, but it might turn into a murder case. I can't guarantee that it won't. So make sure that you have your ducks in a row, because people will come and talk to you. And I think for her, she'd be like, okay, if I'm the person who did this, I've told my sons what happened. So they need to have their ducks in a row as well. I need to know that they have alibis, because if they're going to come to me, they are definitely going to question my sons as well. So they all have to know exactly where they were at the time of all of this happening. And that's what it would be about.
And now we have to talk about the sons as possible suspects here.
them.
I don't think it's them. I don't think it's Emerald, just because, once again, this is a Ryan Murphy show, and Ryan Murphy's never going to do the most predictable option. The only bit of evidence I can come up with for the sons here, beyond the whole alibi conversation and the fact that they knew at least some of what happened to her, is that they have planted all this information throughout these first 4 episodes about how smart, how driven all of them are. So in theory, I think you can make a case that they could use their skills to research, track this guy down. If they did it, I would think it was a situation that all 3 of them were in on it together, because that's a lot of resources to allocate to just one person to be able to pull all this off. For 3 people, they might be able to get a little bit more done in a tiny amount of time.
Here's the thing that I'm having a hard time with, if it's all the sons together,
Okay.
because we're talking about a murder here, and it's one thing to be, mad about something that has happened to your mom and you want some sort of justice for it. And it's another thing to actually go and do that thing and have all 3 of them kind of like side eye smiling at each other. Like it's like I said, one thing for them to like think about it and feel that adjustment. It's another thing to actually do it. And all three of them are A-okay with what they did and what they saw and how they feel about it.
Here's my tinfoil
I
hat
just
on the
don't think
Suns.
it's them.
I think the only reason we have three sons on this show is that they just wanted to make Emerald as much of a boss as humanly possible, where they were sort of saying, all right, it's not just that she's an investigator at this high powered firm. It's not just that she has three kids and she's been a single mom. It's that they're all triplets. And so she did this
It's
all.
hard.
I cannot think of a more daunting way to introduce how strong someone is than doing all that. I don't think
Oh,
that
absolutely.
they introduced these three together just because all three of them would need to pull this off. I don't think it's them. I don't think we can completely ignore them, but they're just kind of off to the side.
Okay, so we'll also talk about everybody else that's at the firm. I do
Yes.
not think that it's Liberty. I do not think that it's Allura. Dina's on the table, but I really don't think that it's Dina either. Like, Dina is connecting this to herself and this case, but this isn't making any sense to me. If this is actually Ryan trying to thread together what happened to Emerald
Yeah.
to Dina's case, he's done a bad job at it. It's so flimsy where Dina's just like, oh yeah, this man that did this to you, his father is somebody that, you know, I went up against years back. You know, he took himself out and the son never got over it. So the son targeted Emerald to get to Dina. So I'm sitting back being like, okay, this doesn't really make a lot of sense unless the son had done some sort of research to actually see how close Dina and Emerald are. And why then has there been no mention of it from this guy to basically be like, send a message to Dina, like, this is not about you, this is about Dina. It feels like he has done this a bunch of times before.
Yes.
And on top of it, he wouldn't have known that Emerald was going to this. They have had this mixer, it seems like twice a month. Emerald has gone 0 times.
Yes.
It sounds like she's been invited every time. Why would he know that she's going to be there? He wouldn't.
It would be completely insane if he magically figured all of that out.
There is not a connection there. However, Dina making it about herself, I was really glad that Emerald told her off for that. Was just like, stop making this about you.
Yeah, I can understand Dina at least feeling like it's odd that Emerald would come across somebody who's related to somebody that, you know, she dealt with in the past. LA is such a big city. Like, but coincidences, they do happen.
They
And
do.
it's just that there's not enough actual tangible evidence to connect these in any shape or form. It
No.
would be sort of saying that, all right, Liberty is actually the person responsible for all of this. And like, she is just one finger is on the table right now. It's nothing more than that. And that's only because maybe she's feeling guilty that she pushed Emerald to go to this mixer and all of this sort of stuff happened. But it's just, we have not seen that in Liberty's character at all, that she's going to do that. I think she's going to harbor guilt, and that
Yes.
will be a part of her story moving forward. But I just don't think they're going to have it be manifested in that way, so that one of our main characters on All's Fair took somebody out and then they're all participating in this sort of big elaborate group cover up the rest of the season.
Yo, if that's the way that it plays out, I'm here for this storyline. It is messy drama, exactly what I have signed up for with this show. It is what the show has presented so far. Messy, ridiculous, murderous drama. That is exactly what I want. So I'm hoping that it actually was Emerald. She went out, she got some revenge, and then the women all have to get together to legally be able to find a way to help cover it all up. Let's go.
I would be more than okay with that. I mean, I would even be okay if it is Ray. You brought up all the reasons why
I think it's Ray.
There might still be a way for Emerald to be involved in helping with the cover up there. And it could still be a certain degree of messy, because this is why I'm watching this show, right? Like, I do want to see antics. I'm not coming on here expecting the most down-to-earth and realistic portrayal of being a divorce lawyer in Los Angeles. Like, that's just not this show.
Okay, we have to talk about the story of the week, but we'll talk about it pretty briefly. It was like a couple that got married, but they both knew that they were on opposite sides of the coin when it came to having kids. He really wanted kids. It's something that's really important to him to be a parent.
Yeah.
And for her, she did not want to have kids. She did not want to be a parent. Why these two decided to go forward thinking that the other person was going to change is beyond me. People that want to be parents, I'm a parent, you feel it deep in your soul. It's something that if you want that, you don't marry somebody who doesn't want to have kids. He made a mistake, she made a mistake. But the thing that really kind of got under my skin about it was the way that she was talking about it, where she was just like, I'm not enough, he doesn't love me enough. It has nothing to do with that. Like, somebody who wants to be a parent and wants to experience that part of their lives, it's not about not loving you enough to only be with you. It's another part of life, of something that you want for yourself. It doesn't have to do with loving somebody or not loving somebody. And that argument always really crawls under my skin, because that's not what wanting to be a parent or parenthood is really about.
There were two things I really liked about this storyline. Number
Mhm.
one, all the characters involved were flawed. You could sort of see where
Yes.
both of them were coming from. It wasn't trying to depict one or the other as just like completely terrible and terrible people.
Yeah.
The second thing here, and I hope that this is an ongoing segment through the rest of this season. I think it could be called Corner. Whenever you see somebody and you're like, it's Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's on this show.
Oh,
Like,
she was great.
she was really, really great.
Like
And
Jessica Simpson last time. Oh my God.
I didn't even know it was her until after the fact.
Unrecognizable. She was amazing.
One of the things that is fun about this show is because it's Ryan, and whatever you may think about Ryan, he's ridiculous. The shows are over the top. He can always pull really famous people, and there's one or two
Yes.
roads that happen with this. It's either he's managed to pull in some sort of legend, whether it is Jennifer Jason Leigh,
Yes.
Jessica Lange, Judith Light, or
Yeah.
then there's the I can't believe this person is acting now, which is the Jessica Simpson and Kim Kardashian side of it. And I hope that there are more people this season that kind of do get to come in, play a little part here, get recognized for it. And it's just like, who wouldn't want to be involved in something like this? Because if Ryan uses you for one show, he's
Yeah.
probably going to use you for others.
Yeah, it's reminding me a lot of Poker Face in that way. I
Yeah.
mean, they have amazing guest stars every single week. And that's what it's starting to feel like here as well, where I'm seeing people that either I haven't seen in a long time, or, it's amazing. I'm really having a fun time.
One thing I am glad about is that they also did continue to acknowledge what's going on here with Allura and
Yeah.
Chase. It wasn't front and center, but because this show, it has an ongoing story, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about this Emerald One for several more weeks this season.
Yes.
But they also have the story of the week, so you can't really cram everything in. I like the acknowledgement that this was still going on, but at the same time, kind of recognizing, okay, we need to allow Niecy to cook a little bit. So we're just
Oh,
going to
yes.
put a lid on the pot. It's just going to simmer, and we'll get back to it down the road. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But that is where we are coming out of All's Fair Season 1, Episode 4. Do you guys think this show is getting better and better? Or are people being way too harsh about it? Let us know in the comments. And also hit that subscribe button for more. Help us get closer to 100,000 subscribers. We really appreciate the support, and we'll
Yes.
see you here next time.